Hi, everybody. If you don't know who I am, my name is Lindsay. I'm a registered nurse. I am going to link above in the description about my introduction video. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is all about dementia and helping your loved ones. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe so that you can see all my newest videos. Today, we're going to be talking about the 3 stages of dementia, and then there's 7 stages of dementia. Now that sounds contradictory, but the 3 stages are mild, moderate, and severe. And then during the course of me talking, we'll talk about the 7 stages. So right now, I just want you to focus on the mild, moderate, and severe. Now, if you're watching this video and you have a loved one that has dementia, you can think back to their mannerisms and characteristics and what they do on a daily basis. Do you think that they're in the mild stage where they're just forgetting some certain things, or are having a little bit of trouble doing things that they used to be able to do, whereas they're still more like independent? They're just having a little bit of trouble, and you can like maybe see that that's like a sign of like older age or something, where you're not really in a state where you're concerned yet. So the moderate stage would be that they need help with like bending over, tying their shoes, or going grocery shopping, or making a list of groceries that they need, or sometimes they kind of forget like what medications they're taking or what it's for, or they kind of question you about why they are taking these medications. Maybe they need help with tasks of daily living, like maybe they need help going to the bathroom now, or pulling up their pants, or showering, or things like that, where maybe they're starting to not be able to be safe while driving. So you'll pick up on these things as they progress. Now, dementia is a continuum, so you're not going to really know like what stage that they're in. You just kind of want to manage the symptoms instead of really defining what stage they're in. But now that you see these stages, mild, moderate, and severe, you can start to think about what stage is your loved one in. Now the severe stage would be where they have no cognitive like function, where they're sleeping most of the day, where they can't get up on their own, they're not being able to control their bowels or bladder, they may not be able to talk all the time, they forget words a lot, they may have trouble with swallowing. So the severe stages, they're really, really progressed and they're going downhill. Now, when we talk about dementia, there are a lot of forms of dementia. So you have, think of dementia as like an umbrella. And on the spokes of the umbrella is Alzheimer's, vascular dementia, Lewy Body Dementia, Frontal Temporal Dementia, and I'm sure that there's a lot of other ones. There's also some forms of dementia that, well, the doctors don't really know much about any of them. So we have information, but just not enough. So if your loved one gets diagnosed with dementia, there's a lot of things that you can research and do, but it mostly depends on managing their symptoms. So they can do brain scans, and then there's lots of other questionnaires and assessments that they can do, which I'll go over in another video. But for dementia as a whole, I mean, that's why there's the Alzheimer's Association, where they're raising money and awareness for dementia, because there's a lot of people affected by dementia, but there's not enough research to figure out like, why is this happening to so many people? So you can when you get a diagnosis for your loved one of dementia, you can research that, but really what we want to be aware of is how to manage the symptoms. So I wouldn't even really be too concerned about the stage that they're in. Once you figure out the stage that they're in, like mild, moderate, severe, you just have to figure out how to manage those symptoms. So safety is the number one priority that we need to recognize, that when our loved ones and older people get diagnosed with dementia, they're really on a severe cognitive decline after that. And they really revert into like toddlers. So once you get the moderate to severe stages, you're really taking care of an infant or toddler who is a lot bigger, stronger, heavier, can verbally, abuse you, or may not. They may just laugh. So really, we need to manage the symptoms, and then safety needs to be the number one priority. So with the mild stages of dementia, they're going to forget names or recent events. Like if they went to their grandchild's birthday party on Saturday and now today's Tuesday, they may forget the day of the week that it is, or that they had the birthday party on Saturday, maybe mixed it up and thought it was Friday. They have difficulty coming up with the right words to say. So I know my grandfather, he forgot the word boat. He called it this big thing. It was this tall thing that went over the ocean, and we were like, okay, it's a boat. So he kind of forgot what the word boat meant. Sometimes they misplace items like their purse or keys or papers that they need, documents that they need, pictures that they had, things like that, their watches, their rings. But it's not severe enough to recognize that that's not just the normal part of aging. Because I forget my keys and my sunglasses, and I forget where my purse is all the time. So for your family of a loved one, it's kind of normal for older people to lose things. I lose things too. So at the mild stages, you're just not there enough to be aware that it is a cognitive decline. You think it's just older age. They kind of forgot. They have a lot of things on their mind. So they're just, they're scrambled right now. With the moderate stage, they may feel moody or withdrawn. You might see attitude changes here. They may get agitated because they're starting to understand that, they're forgetting a lot and that their brain wasn't what it was before. So they may get agitated or angry at you, or angry at, just because they can't do things, and get very frustrated. There may be a lot of confusion, or it may not be safe to drive anymore. In the progressive moderate stages, they may wander or get lost. With the moderate stage, they do require help with everyday tasks, such as cooking, making sure that the burners are off, loading, unloading the dishwasher, laundry. They may forget how to go to the bathroom. They may lose control of their bowels or bladder. You may have to help them with the shower, but they still can participate in everyday activities, just with assistance. Now, I say the word may a lot because not everybody is alike. Nobody's alike in this world. So the things that are on here are just tentative. They may or may not happen to your loved one. It just depends on how their body is, how their brain is. It really just depends. Everybody is so different in what they experience on a daily basis with dementia. And on that note, they may have different experiences every second of every day. Today they might be good to go, and they might be eating fine and, picking up the spoon and feeding themselves. Tomorrow they may forget how to hold the fork, or they may write with the pen today, but then they forget how to write with the pen tomorrow. So everything is a maybe. It just depends. Now, it's the severe stage. They require around-the-clock care. They're no longer able to communicate, or if they do communicate, it might come out like jumbled words. Kind of like when a baby's first starting to talk, they may, have jumbled words or misplaced words, or they laugh in a not appropriate situation, or they cry in a not appropriate situation. They need help with all tasks. They may sleep most of the day. Now, here's a tip for you. In the mild stages of dementia, they are still competent to handle their finances and family things. However, I would tell you to get a power of attorney as soon as possible, because there's so much of a dramatic difference in everybody with dementia. They could go from one day being great, and then 6 months later, they're severely declined. I see it so many times. Now, there's Alzheimer's patients, dementia patients that live for years. My neighbor's husband, he's in a wheelchair. He started getting signs of dementia a year ago. And within last year, one single year, he died because he went downhill so fast. Now, I've worked at nursing homes and assisted livings where we have dementia patients for a long time. I mean, they live there and they're good to go. They have no clue what's going on, but really, they're healthy other than their cognitive decline, and they have no memory whatsoever. Their heart is fine, their lungs are okay, they're healthy, their blood pressure is fine. So there's so many drastic differences between dementia patients. So when you start seeing the subtle changes, forgetting where the car keys are, or maybe because we have this unconscious thinking of driving places. Like, I know how to get to my house, easily, and I don't even have to think about it. So sometimes when they're driving and they're going someplace where they know, and then they get lost, those are like subtle things, or they lose the keys before they go, or they lose their purse, but it's right in front of them, things like that. So just be aware that if you see subtle changes like that, you need to make sure that their finances are in place, that they have advanced directives in place. You need the power of attorney and advanced directives in place as soon as possible. You definitely do not want to wait until something else happens and then go forth with it, because then in a legal standpoint and a medical standpoint, it may not matter what you want or their wishes are, because you didn't have those documents, those legal documents in place. Now, what not to say to your loved one with dementia, any form of dementia at any time. This is very critical, because they have that, like, when you forget things, you feel stupid. Okay. And they've lived a long life and done many things and magical, and they've raised you, and now it's your time to help them. But you don't want to make them feel more stupid than they already understand that they're losing it. So don't ever say, "Don't you remember that, Mom? Don't you remember? Duh, we just did that. How do you forget that? What are you talking about? Why wouldn't you know that?" And I understand that this is frustrating, but I have seen this before. So you get defensive because you're kind of in denial, like, why wouldn't they remember that? We were just there. Or why don't you know my kids' names, or anything like that? But you have to remember that when you have dementia, you're on such a cognitive decline. You have no idea what's going on in their brain unless you have a brain scan. So you have no clue. But you're kind of getting defensive, which makes them get defensive, and the whole entire situation is just chaotic. And it could have been all avoided if you just didn't start that one sentence of, "How do you not remember that?" So just do yourself a favor, do your family a favor, because then it could start arguments or something. It could go down a whole rabbit hole that you don't want to go into. So do yourself a favor and your family a favor. Just don't say, "Do you remember that?" If they don't remember, then that's okay. If you argue with them over forgetting the items, misplacing the items that are important, documents, rings, watches, sentimental value things, that's not a good place to start. So if you just say, "Okay, let's just calm down for a second. Let's, think about it." If they can't remember it, it's okay, because usually it will come up later and it will click. But you have no idea what's going on in their brain, that it could once, and it actually goes for anybody, once you start this defensive process of, you have to be defensive because you lost something that somebody else needs, and then your body goes into this fight or flight shock, and your brain has this brain fog. Now for them, that brain fog is even worse. So if you start out by saying, "What did you do with those papers? I can't find them. What?" That doesn't do anything for anyone. It actually intensifies the brain fog and intensifies the situation. So don't argue with them over items that are misplaced or forgotten. They will be found once everybody cools down, or maybe in, a couple days or so. I know for myself, if I panic and I'm looking for something, I can't find it whatsoever. But the next day that I had forgotten about it and I'm okay with it being gone, I find it. Same situation. So when you tell them, if they repeat themselves over and over and over again, and you say, stop repeating yourself, we got it. Again, not a good situation, not a good word to use because they can't help it. When you get frustrated because you have to state the same thing several times before they understand. So you don't ever want to get frustrated because you have to say the same thing several times over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's not their fault. It's their brain. Again, not everybody knows everything about dementia. So in a brain situation like that, it's not their fault. So if you have to say the same thing several times before it clicks and before they understand, it's just what's going to have to happen. Now, you can say this is easier said than done, but I've been there. I mean, I've been with the dementia population for 14 years. So I've seen a gamut of things, but I've also seen how to do stuff correctly. And I've seen and done stuff that you don't do or that you shouldn't do. And it doesn't get anyone anywhere. So getting frustrated because they can't help it, it's kind of like, a toddler that you're getting frustrated with, that they just can't help it. They have to grow into it or whatever. Kind of same situation, except for you're reverting backwards. So you just have to keep calm, and you can't lose your cool, because again, it's just not going to work for anyone. Now, if you're getting frustrated because they're not getting showered or they're going to the bathroom in their pants, again, not a good situation for you to get frustrated with. There are certain things that you can do, excuse me, to help them get showered. Like you might be able to just get a foot tub for their feet. You might be able to get a washcloth and have them wash under their arms. There are shower caps. It's a shower cap that you put on your head, and then it has soap in it. So it's a shampoo shower cap. Things like that. When they go to the bathroom in their pants, sometimes they can control it, but they don't feel like they want to get up, and they're okay with going to the bathroom in their pants. Again, that is a sign of cognitive decline. Now, I've had a patient where the family said that she would have died if she knew, way back when, if she knew that in 15 years she was going to be the one to pee in her pants or poop in her pants, that, she would have been so embarrassed way back when, but she's not now. Again, that's a sign of cognitive decline, where they just don't care anymore. They've kind of like given up because half their brain is functioning and half their brain is not. So they've kind of given up on a lot of things. So it doesn't help anybody to get frustrated. Now, I know that there are times when you just can't help getting frustrated because you deal with this all day long, every day, 24/7. It is okay to try to figure out another avenue to get your emotions out. I mean, you can't handle everything. There's got to be a point at which you stop handling all of this and maybe either let another family member help you, or put your loved one in a nursing home, or put them in an assisted living, or get a caregiver in place in the home. So, you can't do everything for everyone. You have to eventually at some point get yourself back, because you are important too, and you can't help them if you're not helping yourself first. So it's okay if you're getting frustrated. Life is complicated, especially dementia is very complicated. So it's okay if you're getting frustrated. Just don't take your anger or frustration out on them, because they can't help it. Now, if you say, oh yes, they can help it because they're just choosing not to go to the bathroom. Yes, but again, they have such a cognitive decline that at that moment when they're letting loose with their bowels or bladder, the one side of their brain is working, the other side isn't. So when you say, yeah, they can help it, while the reasoning side might be working, but the cognition and the bowel and bladder side, maybe like screw it. And sometimes also if they have back problems, knee problems, hip problems, if they have arthritis, if they have rheumatoid arthritis, if they have, a lot of other medical issues, it may not be easy for them to actually go from a sitting position to a standing position, get their walker, walk to the bathroom, pull down their pants, pull down their Depends, pull down their underwear, whatever, sit on the toilet. By the time they get there, they may just be like, screw it, I've already done it anyway, so what's the point? So it kind of just depends on, the person you're dealing with, the form of dementia they have, the stage that they're in. There's just a lot of factors that go into it. So the last thing that I want to tell you about of what not to do is when they have their reality when you have dementia is completely different from our reality, from what is really going on. At certain stages in dementia, like the moderate to severe stages in dementia, their reality becomes that they are hallucinating, they are paranoid, they revert back to a child. They may think that they don't live in this house isn't theirs, and they need to go home, which means going back to their childhood home or the one they had before they bought this house with you when they were unmarried, or whatever it is. They will revert back. So their reality is completely different. Now, sometimes they are lucid, which means that they are in our reality. Sometimes they are not, and they're in their own reality. When they're in their own reality, it's easier to distract and divert them. If they're adamant, I'm going home, say, okay, Dad, let's go home. And then you can take him, maybe you can take him for a car ride. Or maybe you can go out the front door and just walk around the yard. Or maybe you can distract him by telling them there's a phone call, or, to play a board game or a card game or watch TV or something. Again, it depends on the person. You have to know the person of what they like. You definitely don't want to distract them with something that they don't like and they hate, because then they'll get more agitated. They're probably already agitated because they want to go home and they feel like this is not their home. This is not their safe place, and they want to go to their safe place. But in reality, this is their home. This is their safe place. So in those situations, try to distract them or divert them into something else. When their reality becomes unsafe, that they are hallucinating, that someone is out to kill them, that somebody is coming through the TV, coming at them, when they are paranoid that there is a bug in the phone, you have to not argue with them, but distract them into our reality. So it's, I don't want to say it's hard, but it is a little bit, you have to figure it out. It might take you one or two times to figure out like what's actually going to distract them instead of what's going to hurt the situation more and me arguing with them. Because you can tell them, like we told my grandmother's sister, my great aunt, before she died, she was 96 and she thought that there was a bug in the phone and that they were recording her phone calls. And my grandmother kept telling her, why would they want to do that? Who cares? Blah, blah, blah. She didn't care. She didn't care. She didn't get it. She thought that there was a bug in the phone and that was it. So then she would talk to her about like The Bold and the Beautiful or something like that to like distract her from thinking that there was a bug in the phone. And then when they get that distraction of something that they do like, they'll go back to, I'm telling you, there's a bug in the phone, but oh, I had this great conversation or this great card game, or, I watched The Bold and the Beautiful. Let me tell you what happened, blah, blah, blah. So it'll still be back in the back of their mind, but it won't be up front where it's like really ready to go and arguing and they're just ready to have it out. So it just depends on what's going on for them to realize and understand you need to get them back to our reality. Now, excuse me, let me take a drink. Okay, the 7 stages of dementia. So, mild, moderate, severe are the simple stages. Now, when you get into the 7 stages, they go more in depth. So stage 1, there's no dementia, no impairment, normal thinking. You would think that that's not a stage of dementia, but it is, because there's got to be a stage that tells you where they were before and then where they are now. So number 2, stage 2, very mild decline. So that would be the moderate stage on the 3 stages: mild, moderate, severe. This is still on the mild stage where they're forgetting some names of objects, but not symptoms not evident to loved ones. Stage 3, still mild cognitive decline, where they're having difficulty finding the right words, like my grandfather forgot the word boat. The loved ones observe the change like we did. We observed the change, but it wasn't enough to say he was in a dementia stage. Stage 4 is usually when people get diagnosed. So there's all things that you can do for getting diagnosed with dementia. You would have to talk to your doctor about what is good for your loved one. They may do a brain scan or memory test or assessments for that. Speaking of assessments, in another video, I'm going to talk about a home assessment and how you can get your home ready for your dementia loved one. So stage 4, moderate cognitive decline. Most often this is a stage diagnosed. They have poor short-term memory. Like I said, they may have forgotten that they went to a birthday party Saturday. They may forget that today is Tuesday, or they may think that the birthday party was Friday instead of Saturday. They're forgetting personal details like the house number of their house, their birthday, how old they are. They may get easily frustrated or agitated since they are forgetting. They may get frustrated when they don't remember the answer. They may need help going to the bathroom, may start having sleep disturbances. Again, this is all may or may not, because everybody is different. Stage 5, this is the mid-stage, mild severe cognitive decline. They need help with daily tasks, as in like showering, putting on their sneakers, washing their feet, things like that. They may have more significant confusion. Again, very agitated or aggressive, may have hallucinations or be paranoid. They may revert back to memories of childhood, but they can't remember right here, right now. They're no longer able to live alone and be safe, no longer able to drive and be safe. Stage 6, mid-stage. So severe cognitive decline. Very bad memory loss with right here, right now, but they still may remember childhood memories. Difficulty recognizing family members. They may see a person that is their brother, sister, son, daughter, niece, nephew. They can recognize their face, but don't remember their name. Or they know that there's a dog in the house, but can't remember the dog's name or cat's name, or whatever kind of animal you have, but they know that that's their dog, but they don't remember the name. Also noticeable personality changes. This is when they become either aggressive, passive aggressive, or they may just be in outer space somewhere and completely lose it, but be as happy as a clam. Stage 7, late stage. This is a very severe cognitive decline. This is the final stage where communication is limited, physical decline regarding limited eating and or swallowing. So those are the 7 stages of dementia. If you can place your loved one on this scale, show me in the comments below where you think your loved one is. So thank you for joining me and watching this video and PowerPoint presentation. So I'm so excited. I am on my journey to being a dementia coach. So I'm very excited. I am going to start coaching for 6 months starting January 6th, every Wednesday night. So myself, I'm a registered nurse. I've been with the dementia community for 14 years. I was a CNA before I became an RN. I worked with the dementia community and the geriatric population for the last 14 years. That is my specialty. I love my old people. So this is what I have found. I have been in a lot of dementia groups, and I'm on the other side of it because I am an RN and I'm the one that goes out and does the assessment. and puts CNAs in the home, and comes up with a care plan, and reviews the medications, and helps you with asking questions for the doctor when you have your next visit. However, I am so excited to announce that I am now going to be a dementia coach, whereas I am going to give specialized individual attention to caregivers of dementia patients. So not like CNAs, but like personal daughters, sisters, friends, loved ones, granddaughters, guys too, that are in the home 24/7 that are caring for their loved ones. So what I have found is going through these dementia groups that I have seen, there's so much overwhelming response for you needing help with everyday things for your dementia loved ones. And even though, so we're going through COVID now, I can't physically be there, but I can coach you on Zooms to help you figure out the information about their medications. What do you know? What do you want to know about their medications? Questions that you need for the doctor's offices, home assessments. So I can go around your home and see virtually. I can go around your home and see, what we need to do to make your loved ones safe. I can meet them and talk to them, and also helping you with, an individualized care plan that will help you help them more and help you take the stress off of you a little bit. So you're going to be in a group with me and other people who are going to have specialized individual attention every Wednesday night for 1 to 2 hours, talking about your specific situation and how I can help you. So we're also going to have support from each other. So we're going to be in this group. We can have support from each other. And then the biggest thing that I want to get across to you is that I want to help your loved ones, but I also want to help you. So realistically, this is more for you than for your loved ones, because this is going to help you with your personal development for yourself so that you can help them more, because you can't help them if you don't help yourself first. A lot of you that I've seen in this group are not able to take attention away from them and put it onto you for a second, where you're going out to dinners or you're doing something for yourself. And that's what I really want to help you on, because you cannot help them all the way if you are drained yourself. So I want to pump you up and make sure that you have personal development and that you are going forward with your life so that you can help them, because it's a 24/7 job, and it's very draining if you're doing it all alone, by yourself, no help, no support. Again, that's mostly what I have found, is that everybody from the group that I'm in is doing this all alone by themselves, no matter if it's their mother-in-law, father-in-law, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, dad, or mom. It's mostly you having the burden for the person you're taking care of, and not many other people are there to help you. So I want to be the one to help you and to enhance your life so that you can enhance the life of your dementia loved one. Even though obviously, when they have dementia, well, there's no turning back now, but they can live, realistically, they can live a while with dementia. Sometimes they decline fast, sometimes they live a long time. But if they're living a long time and you're drained, you're not going to help you, and you're certainly not going to help them with you being drained. So this is more for you than for them. So on January 6th, 2021, I'm going to start every Wednesday night coaching for 6 months. So it'll be January 6th to June 3rd. So I'm so excited, and I would love for you to join me. So if you want to join me and be put on the list. Now, I'm doing a list because I haven't rolled out much information yet. So I'm doing a list. So if you want to be put on the list to be the first to know when my dementia group rolls out, let me know in the comments below, and I'll put you on the list, and I'll put you in my group so that we can change ourselves and then help ourselves with our dementia loved ones. All right, so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe above so that you can get all the newest information, and I will see you soon.